Hi, my name is Insiya. Thanks for joining me. So we're spending a lot of time indoors these days, and I've been working on using my yoga practice to keep me healthy. And a really pivotal part of yoga is learning how to use our breath more effectively so that we can keep our lungs and our respiratory systems very, very healthy. And this is obviously something that we want to do right now, given the current situation with coronavirus or COVID-19. And so what I'm doing today is sharing a few key practices that will both help to release anxiety, calm the nervous system, but most importantly, detoxify the lungs so we can keep them functioning in a really healthy, strong manner. This will support your immunity, and this will bring you some more vitality and what we call in yoga prana, or life force. Please note, this is not medical advice. This is not to be used in lieu of going to the doctor, but my hope and our offering is that these practices will sustain you as we move through the next few days, taking, as always, one day at a time, one breath at a time. Okay, so if you're home, what I'd like for you to do is to get comfortable. Find a cushion if you have something, something to raise your pelvis up slightly, and you want to sit in a comfortable way. You can also sit on a chair and simply have your legs on the floor. But if you are sitting in a cross-legged position, or like this, where you place one heel in front of the other, be sure that your hip bones are higher slightly than your knees. And then whenever you're ready, find a seat, this seat, and take a big exhale out, and feel as you exhale that all the energy, all that stress and tension or anxiety is releasing back down and out into the earth. So let's do that together. Big exhale out through an open mouth. Let it go. And then from here, I invite you actually to close your eyes or soften the eyelids. Either is fine. And where we're going to start is with some belly breathing, some deep belly breathing. And we're going to try to draw the breath right here into the belly, just above the pelvis. And breathing into the belly is one of the classical ways of really calming down the nervous system. This helps to ground the body in what we call the seat of the body, the pelvic bowl and the legs. And it also helps to really soften and elongate the breath. So this is a really wonderful first step as we get ready for a deeper pranayama practice. So join me when you're ready, and I'll count us through the breath. Start by taking your right hand and your left on top of your belly. We're going to start again by exhaling all breath out. Release it, let it go. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you are inflating a balloon underneath your hands. So fill that balloon up with breath. Let the belly become round, so fill up. And as you exhale, slowly and gently release that breath out, and you'll find that the navel comes closer to the spine. And let's do about 5 more of those on our own together. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, let the shoulders relax and soften. As you breathe out, feel that down and out force into the earth. 2 more. And out. Last breath, really fill the belly and feel the pelvic bowl also filling up with breath. And out. Maybe one last one, because it feels so good. Slow that breath out as you exhale. And then open the eyes and take a couple of normal breaths as you would. And just notice for a moment if anything feels a little different in your body, in your mind. Maybe you feel a little more softer, a little more open, a little more relaxed. And then let's work on a practice that we call the full yogic breath. And here what we'll do is we'll start to fill the breath first into our belly, and then we'll allow that breath to travel up into the lungs. And when you let that breath travel up into the lungs, I want you also to focus on expanding the sides of the rib cage as well as the back and the front. So you're kind of breathing in this very three-dimensional way. And this is something we teach a lot and talk a lot about in Rasiwala yoga, because when we are stressed and when we're anxious, we don't use the full lung capacity with our breathing. And so what we're trying to do here is really harness the entire surface area, if you will, of the lungs. And so I want you to really feel how the rib cage starts to expand from side to side and back and front. And again, we'll do this together. So start in that comfortable seat one more time. Exhale all breath out through an open mouth. Let it go. This time as you breathe in, you can take one hand on your belly and start to breathe. Pull that breath into your belly. And then start to breathe that breath all the way up into the lungs. You'll notice the ribs expanding. Breathe as much breath as you can. And then release it all out. And take a couple of normal breaths here. Let them go. And you may notice that I really sustained that exhale. See if you can do the same. Really try to slow that exhale down and almost imagine that your breath is kind of like a pump and you're pressing that pump down and really kind of squeezing air out of your entire body. You are letting go of any stale air that might be in there, so that when you take your next breath, you're really allowing some vitality and new breath and new life to fill you up. Does that sound good? Okay, awesome. So let's do about 5 rounds of that, and we'll do them really slow. I'm not exactly sure what the count will be exactly, so try to follow your own breathing. And if you find that you're a little slower or a little faster than me, that's totally fine. This depends on your own lung capacity. You may also notice that the more you practice this kind of breathing, over time, you will learn how to slow your breath down a little bit more. So whenever you're ready, again, you can soften the eyes, you can close them. I'm going to place my left hand on my belly here. And then let's all together exhale all breath out. You can do this through an open mouth. Let it go. And let's breathe in that full yogic breath, filling up the belly, and then letting that breath travel up like a wave into the lungs, the front, the sides, the back. Even more breath in. Drop your chin down towards your chest ever so slightly, and then let that breath out. And again, breathing in. Widening, expanding the breath. Pause if you can for just a moment. And exhale it all out. Three more, breathing in again. Waving that breath up the body, the sides, the back of the rib cage. Just a little more sip of breath and air. Pause. Exhale it out. Two more, long, slow, and deep. Fill yourself up. Let it out. Last breath cycle together, breathing in. Waving that breath up. Filling even more breath in. Pause, and this time on that exhale, release.
Go.
Last breath cycle now. Breathing in. Waving that breath up. Filling up the side, the back. Sipping even more breath in. And then squeezing it out on the exhale, let it all go. Opening your eyes if they're closed. Allowing your breath to flow in and out of you. And taking a moment to notice any shifts that you may feel. Thank you for joining me today. Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere feel peace, harmony, and joy. Namaste.
Okay. So we test this, make sure it worked. That was great, babe.